All content is publicly sourced and used under the USA Fair Use and UK Fair Dealing Guidelines. The things I say are strictly my opinion. Good evening, everyone. It's the Bizzy Bee with the royalty. It is the 18th of December. Happy Friday. Hope you've all had a great day. Look at what we have here. It is the three incarnations of Smegs. Z-list actress, yacht girl, woke joke. What do you know? Everybody, I have so much I want to cover about the Harkles today. It is not even funny, but I'm going to try to keep it funny. So let's dive right into it. Somebody left a comment on my last video. The Queen's other son is that other prince. Philip is her husband. Everyone, I very well know that. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I definitely know that. When I was recording that last video and I made that mistake, I knew instantly that I had done that, and I thought, oh gosh, but I was in the flow. I just wanted to keep going. But I knew, you can't say that prince's name on YouTube because they'll demonetize you. So that's why I didn't say it, and I didn't take a proper pause between the names. Sorry about that. I'll try to do better next time. Okay, I have a little story time I want to share with you all. Now, this isn't about the Harkles, but I thought you would all find it very, very amusing. I was talking to one of my coworkers today. We were discussing via text message celebrities who were not so nice in person, and I was telling her about the experience that I had with Selena, the singer who passed away in 1995. She was killed by the president of her fan club. Right. Well, in 2001, a friend of mine and I went to South Padre Island, Texas. On the way there, we stopped in Corpus Christi, and we stopped at the Selena Museum, and her family happened to be there that day. And let me tell you, her dad and her sister are not very nice people. That's all I'm going to say. So I was telling my friend at work about this today, and she told me about an experience that her friend had with Mariah Carey. And we all know she's the queen of nice, right? No. So I wanted to share this with all of you. Okay, so my coworker said, so my friend is a makeup artist here in Cincinnati, and I know what you're all thinking. Your coworker lives in Cincinnati? B, we thought you lived outside of Washington, D.C. I do, but my coworker works remote. She lives in Cincinnati. So there you go. Okay, she said, so my friend is a makeup artist here in Cincinnati, and she was hired to be on the set of the Mariah Carey holiday movie, A Christmas Melody. She showed up to set at 6 a.m. Mariah proceeded to bathe in rose petals, blast her own music, and eventually came to the makeup chair at 10 a.m. Mariah was only in a robe, and her pancake chest was sorta out the whole time. Mariah insisted on using a prescription on her face prior to makeup, which turned out to be an emollient that you had to grind the makeup onto her face to make it stay. The prescription was diaper cream. Then she demanded multiple lashes on her eyes and had a particular way she wanted them, refused to say how she wanted them because you just needed to be psychic. My friend was having a hard time getting the lashes on because, she had diaper cream all over her face. So Mariah snatched them out of her hand, called her incompetent, and attempted them herself. Couldn't do it, then had to call her friend back over to set the lashes right. Whole time, pancake boobs are out of robe. Friend said her hair was greasy as heck, and although she bathed, she smelled a bit like B.O. Mariah was snotty. When people would look at her, she would remind her assistant to tell the help their role. Then I said to my coworker, yes, I have heard she has a rule no one can look at her. My coworker continued, my friend declined to come back the next day because Mariah was so abusive. On day 4, she called friend back in because she couldn't find anyone else. Then she didn't pay her for like 6 weeks. Mariah was also in some fight with Nick Cannon, what an embarrassing person to have babies with, and kept texting him while getting her makeup done and swatting my friend's hand away. Oh, and she wears like 3 sets of Spanx because she is so heavy. I love all things beauty and celebrity, so I loved hearing this story. I did makeup for a while and still do the occasional wedding. I cannot imagine having to use diaper cream as a base. That is moronic. Oh wow, Mariah, she sounds almost as kind as Smegs. Almost, not quite. So everyone was saying in the last video about the coffee company that Smegs is invested in, and I even mentioned it, that one of the owners is a man out of the two owners. The other one is this Hannah Mendoza, so it's not truly a woman-owned company. So I found out some more information about that I wanted to share with you all. Now, all of you know, in the States, when you register a business, you register it with the Secretary of State for whatever state the business is in. This one is in California, Clever Blends, so I went to their Secretary of State's website. I typed in Clever Blends, and this is what I found. Now, 2019 and 2020, they filled out some papers and filed them with the state. Now, this is the one that they filled out this year, 2020, and this one registers Hannah Mendoza as the owner. Now, look at when this was filed. This was filed with the state yesterday, the 17th of December. Today is the 18th of December. After that whole hoopla with with Meghan sending the thing to Oprah, the Christmas gift with all the coffee in it that she'd invested in, and Oprah putting it on Instagram, I'm sure this couple who owns the business, or maybe they're not a couple, who knows, Hannah and Roger Coppola, maybe they thought, oh crap, all of this is going to hit the fan. We have to switch up our paperwork. Because look at this. The paperwork that they filed in 2019 clearly lists Roger as the owner. So he's been the owner this whole time until yesterday when they filed the paperwork to change it over to Hannah because of Smegs' big mouth. That's what I wanted to share. I hope you all found that interesting. Now, lately, I've told you all that I've been reading this new book about Prince Philip by Ingrid Seward, the editor-in-chief of Majesty Magazine. It's called Prince Philip Revealed. This is a picture of my copy. I thought anything interesting I find in it, I'm going to share with you all. Well, there were a couple of interesting things that I found, so I'm going to share those. Now, this one first isn't about Smegs and her handbag. It's about the Queen and that opening skit she did for the 2012 Olympics with Daniel Craig as James Bond. Let's take a look. In his capacity as president of FEI, Philip attended 5 Olympic Games over 20 years to oversee the equestrian events of show jumping and dressage. He found it a duty rather than a pleasure. As he put it, I am not really a talented spectator, frankly. Yes, it is quite fun to watch, but it is not the be-all and end-all. I've had enough of it. I did something like 5 Olympic Games when I was just standing around watching things. I'd rather do something. He has very strong views on opening and closing ceremonies. Interviewed for the Daily Telegraph in 2006, he said Olympic opening and closing ceremonies ought to be banned. Absolute bloody nuisances. I have been to one that was absolutely appalling, awful. I was suddenly told at Munich, I think it was, that we couldn't have the main arena for show jumping because it had to be prepared for the closing ceremony. What is the Olympics about? The competition or the closing ceremony? Philip's views on the opening of the 2012 Olympics in London, when a stand-in for the Queen was seen to parachute into the stadium in a James Bond sequence, are not recorded, but he was dubious about his wife getting involved. It was left to the Princess Royal and the director of the ceremony, Danny Boyle, to persuade her to appear with James Bond actor Daniel Craig in a recorded cameo sequence. According to her dresser, Angela Kelly, she was very amused by the idea as long as she was able to deliver the iconic line, "Good evening, Mr. Bond." I thought that was cute. I figured you all would too. Now, this next one is about the Harkles. It's only one paragraph. This is about an incident when Harry was supposed to go hunting with Prince Philip and some other people. So I'm going to read it. The royal passion for hunting has not escaped a new generation. Prince William is said to prefer hunting to any other sport, while the other prince, one of Queen Elizabeth's sons, took his daughter Beatrice hunting when she was 6. Handbag, an excellent shot, has been persuaded by his wife, Smegs, to slow down on his slaughter of game birds. During a weekend shooting party with his close friends in 2018, the Harkles were the guests of honor and arrived in time for dinner before hunting the next day. At exactly 9 a.m., all the hunting weapons were waiting at the door to move off, but no sign of Handbag. They didn't quite know what to do, so they waited and waited until Handbag eventually appeared at the door in his dressing gown, looking very sheepish. His embarrassed explanation was that Smegs did not want him to go out with the weapons, which was extremely awkward as he was guest of honor. Prince Philip would never have put up with such behavior, and in the days when Princess Margaret was married to Tony Armstrong Jones, he would rudely leave his hand on the horn when Tony was late, which he inevitably was. Let's get into today's dumpster fire news, the latest goings-on of the Harkles. Someone is alleging that their net worth could reach $10 billion. Wow, they could be even richer than Oprah? What a laugh. Let's take a look at what this fool is talking about. Handbag and Smegs could be the $10 billion royal couple, with their multi-year Netflix and Spotify deals dwarfed by investments, experts said. The Harkles will make podcasts for Spotify through production company Archewell Audio. That contract has been estimated at between 35 and 75 million, while a multi-year deal to produce shows for Netflix is thought to be worth up to 150 million. So they're getting between 35 and 75 million dollars to produce podcasts for Spotify. What in the world could these two morons possibly have to talk about that is worth up to $75 million? The only interesting thing these two idiots could say is that they're going to join the ranks of the missing and go away and never be heard from or seen again. That would be great. Anything else they have to say? No, not interested. However, Smegs also invested this week with that coffee company whose name I refuse to say, which makes instant oat milk lattes at $28 for a bag containing 14 servings. Professor Jonathan Shalit, founder of UK-based Intertalent Rights Group, told Newsweek the key to their soaring net worth will lie in those kind of investments. He said, "My guess is they'll be the $10 billion royal couple. I'll tell you why. The way you become multi-billionaires is you get involved before the shares explode. The fact of the matter is, they're going to make the money. Basically, they're for sale. They've got a big sticker on their head." Well, Smegs has had a big sticker on her rear end for years. Check below deck on the yachts. They're for sale, and they're very likable people. Oh, this guy's full of shite, isn't he? Very likable people? Who? The Harkles? No, sir. They're appealing? Wrong. You want them on your top table. No, you don't. The only thing you'd want Meghan on the table for is if you were one of those yacht owners that had paid her and you're ready to get your money's worth. Now, this is something that Harkles put out a preview of their podcast. It's about 2 minutes long. It's on YouTube. You can find it if you type in the search bar Archewell Audio. See, it's right there. ARCHEWELL Audio. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but it's sickeningly disgusting. They kind of flirt a little bit in the very beginning. Check it out. It's so sick. A few comments from the last video about the Queen being unhappy with Smegs and her forming the firm of 8, the Harkles not included. I think the guy is the COO of that coffee company, and Mrs. Doubtfire looked better in that blouse than Smegs. The guy's name is Roger, by the way. I think I already said that. Thanks. I'm sick over Oprah loving on Smegs. Really, at this point, Smegs would sell Handbag's tooth fillings on eBay. She is that tacky. I've seen an article on that coffee, and it's not FDA approved. There is no proof it works like they say it does. Read the fine lines first always. She is a hag, LOL. I am waiting for her to start a YouTube channel to sell her garbage. Oh, honey, she's already sold her garbage. That's what I was talking about her days as a yacht girl. That's all she sold back then was garbage. Smegs is like trash here in America. Just money and plastic surgery. What have we learned today, guys? Well, I'll tell you what I've learned. Number one, Mariah Carey is giving Smegs a run for her money when it comes to the Ms. Congeniality Prize. Number two, we can have a sequel to Johnny Cash's song A Boy Named Sue with the song A Girl Named Roger. Number three, the Harkles' net worth could climb higher than the number of Smegs' lovers or even the number of staff they have been through since the marriage. Number four, one viewer said Mrs. Doubtfire looked better than Smegs in that blouse. That is not very difficult as Robin Williams' corpse after 6 years of rotting and decomposition looks better than Smegs. Number five, Mrs. Harkle will resort to selling her handbag's fillings as she has already sold every part of her body over and over and over again. Number six, the only FDA that will approve of the Harkles is an effing dumb A. And number seven, the only difference between Smegs and trash is hefty bags don't have implants, but they are made of plastic. Check it out. All right, everybody. There's the P.O. Box if you want to send treats to the 3 ladies and 1 gentleman or love notes to me. I am particularly fond of love notes. And there's my PayPal info if you also want to leave a tip. Thank you in advance. This is my social media info. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and please hit the notification button so you can be informed every time I come out with another informative video about the idiots known as the Harkles. I will see you all in the next one. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.